So this week on Stadia was released, and it featured World War Z Aftermath, which was also available the same time the blog post dropped. Let's just say things didn't bode as well as some may have hoped. But what do I think? See my reaction. See as reaction. Is Stadia's version of World War Z a dud? Plus my thoughts on this week on Stadia. It's SDO Daily, baby. Let's get into this one. What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K of PNTS Network and StadiaDosage back again with another SDO Daily. Do us a huge favor before we get into this one. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and rock those bells for notifications, please, so you know when we're dropping these doses. We appreciate all of y'all straight up. You know the deal, you know the reason, and by now y'all should know the slogan. What is it? We are not too proud to ask. All right, so let's get into this one. All right, so let's just say World War Z's port on Stadia, World War Z Aftermath. The port on Stadia didn't get the standing ovation many hoped for. There were some key things missing right off the bat. Now we will get into that shortly, but let's start off with this week's on Stadia's blog, all right? And you know how we do. Let me show you something. All right, so here's the blog post, and it reads, this week on Stadia, spring forward into games. There's a decent amount of content here, but we're just gonna break this down and give my thoughts on this week's blog. Now, this week's blog contained mostly DLC and live services game updates. World War Z Aftermath unquestionably was the biggest item on here. It also included some sales, which are always a plus. However, they're not as robust maybe as we've seen in the past. All in all, it was an okay blog post. I'd give it a C. All right, so you scroll through this, a lot of decent content on here, a lot of decent stuff about live services game, but the real meat and potatoes with World War Z and, just a few sales. So, all right, it was an okay blog post. Wasn't mad at it, but wasn't jumping out of joy for it, except for World War Z finally coming. Now on to World War Z Aftermath, all right? So, this is a heavily anticipated game on the platform. It became even more so due to the decrease of content that we've seen on Stadia Q1. Let me show you something else. All right, this is a post from the good homie in LED, and it gives you a breakdown of Stadia's activity in Q1. All right, Q1 of 2022. All right, and as we look at that activity, not only is content down 50%, but it's the weakest quarter Metacritic wise since launch. All right, so this caused some angst within the Stadia community about not only the quality of content, but the type of content that they're getting. So getting a AAA game in the midst was something that people were hoping would change the current trajectory. So again, people were hoping that World War Z would be that game for 2022 to again reverse those trends. Problem is, post-launch, the problem is twofold. First, it doesn't come with a 4K mode. Second, it doesn't have the promised crossplay with PC active yet. And this is disappointing because the crossplay would alleviate finding matches, right? And lack of 4K brings into question those paying for that amenity via Stadia Pro, but not getting what they pay for. Therefore, as imagined, there has been fallout from the release not sticking the landing. Okay, but what do I think about all this? Let's get to the conclusion. Here's my thoughts. First, I agree the lack of crossplay makes the game less appealing for many. And one of Stadia's biggest hills is lobby participation. This implementation could have drastically changed all that. And I don't want to speak in the past tense because they could bring it in the future, but right now that's the state that we're in. The developers need to deliver on what they promise ASAP, period. Therefore, Stadians approach the devs and staunchly inquire about this implementation. All right? So that's how we're going to want to handle this whole crossplay thing. But as far as the 4K missing thing, also something to approach the devs on. I think in conjunction with that, this questions the Stadia Pro business model. If we continue to see games, heavy anticipated ones at that, launch in Pro without a major amenity of the service, 4K, Stadia has to do one of two things. They have to restructure the model to accommodate the situation, or they simply have to do more in the interim to help ensure games launch in a better state. They need to get a team of operatives in this scenario, operative engineers, on output quality now. You know what I'm saying? And if hiring and training is too time costly or time consuming or whatever, then subcontracting must be utilized. This is not a long-term solution. We get it. This is you don't want to open Pandora's box into having developers expecting this all the time. However, it's one that's needed for the short term, because your product that you want to grow is suffering because of it. You know what I mean? So again, you got two options. You got to readjust that Stadia Pro subscription, or you got to get some people on this again to improve the quality of output. Now, amidst all this now, community, let's talk. All right. Despite giving those criticisms and doing it in a way to where I can understand what Stadia is going through, you know what I'm saying, especially during this transition, but in the same time saying, hey, look, as a consumer, these are things that we definitely got to see. You know, I can do that cordially, but you know what kills me? While trying to have an adult conversation about this, once again, the Stadia hate brigade came out to witness Stadia being chastised. They did this during our open mic session the other day, where we, again, were trying to address this as adults and cordially, right? And they love it, sadly. Imagine grown adults dedicated to seeing bad things said about a gaming platform. I was joking with someone the other day, and we were laughing and saying, they've been at this for 2 years. I hope these same adults apply this much dedication to their marriages, children, and their jobs. So, in closing, does this present some staunch things that need to be rectified? Absolutely. Does it mean that it's time for the Stadia hate circle joke to commence, or we're supposed to spread doom and gloom about the platform all over the place? No, and it's not going to happen here. You know what I mean? And hopefully, our open mics are not confused as one of those sessions, the time to relieve some stress on Stadia. That's not what we're here for. As a community, what we're here for is we're here to act as a group of people who truly enjoy the platform and want to see continued success. Yes, let's be direct but cordial and voice our concerns over these issues to better ensure that they are addressed. And that's it from your boy. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below, because like I always say, I'm curious what I think. But if you did like what I had to say, check out the links below to follow me. Those links will lead you to the Broadband Bullies PNTS Network, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and yes, StadiaDosage right here. With all that said, peace! And like me, I hope you're about to hop on some World War Z and appreciate it and enjoy it. Have a wonderful gaming day.